Imagine yourself stepping back in time to the heart of ancient Rome, a sprawling city of stone and shadow, buzzing with the low hum of daily life. The air is thick with dust and the faint scent of sweat and smoke, mingling with the aroma of freshly baked bread from nearby ovens. The city pulses with the rhythm of countless lives, from merchants to senators, slaves to soldiers. But today our journey takes us into one of the most unforgiving arenas of all, the world of the Roman gladiator. A life where every dawn begins with the clang of metal and the threat of death is never far away. A life where survival is not just a hope, but a desperate, constant struggle. As you settle into this story, let your mind drift gently into the dusty sands of the arena, feeling the weight of the armor, the sting of the sun on your skin, and the relentless pounding of your heart. This is not a tale of glory or triumphant conquest, but an honest and calm exploration of what it truly meant to live and often die as a gladiator in ancient Rome. Picture yourself waking before dawn, the chill of the early morning air brushing against your skin beneath rough linen tunics. The camp is quiet but tense. Soon it will roar with the sounds of training and battle cries. As a gladiator, your day begins not with leisure, but with relentless physical trials designed to forge your body into a weapon. Your trainers, experienced and often harsh men, lead you through exercises that test every sinew and muscle. Imagine the scrape of wooden swords against your own, the sharp sting of leather whipping against your back, the rhythm of your breath growing heavy and steady as your body adapts to exhaustion and pain. In the arena, the sun beats down relentlessly, the sand beneath your feet a constant reminder of the countless others who have fought and fallen before you. The heat mingles with the sweat trickling down your brow, and each movement requires sharp focus, every breath a careful calculation. Gladiators were not just fighters, they were prisoners of a brutal spectacle. Injuries were common: a broken bone, a deep cut, a muscle torn by over. But even pain was only the beginning of the challenge. The fear of death, of the crowd's gaze, and the unpredictable fury of your opponents pressed on you like a heavy cloak. Food and rest were scarce rewards. Your diet was simple but carefully controlled: grains, beans, and occasional meat to maintain strength, while wounds were tended by camp medics, who used rudimentary methods, often more comforting than curative. And beyond the physical strain, there was a constant mental toll. The uncertainty of your fate. Would today be the day your name was shouted in triumph or whispered in mourning? The unpredictability of the games, the shifting moods of the crowd, and the capricious will of those who held your life in their hands. Imagine yourself moving through this world, each day blending into the next under the shadow of the arena walls, caught between fear and fleeting hope. The gladiator's life was a relentless cycle, a dance on the edge of survival that few could endure for long. As we slowly step away from this harsh existence, imagine the dusty air softening, the roar of the crowd fading, and the weight of the armor lifting from your shoulders. This glimpse into the gladiator's world reveals not only their struggle, but also the complex society that both celebrated and condemned them. Now, imagine yourself walking through the narrow, bustling streets of ancient Rome, the sun casting long shadows between the towering stone buildings. Among the many faces in the crowd is one marked by hardship and determination, a man whose name would come to echo far beyond the walls of the arena. Spartacus was no ordinary gladiator. Once a soldier, then captured and enslaved, he found himself thrust into the brutal world we just explored. Yet, beneath the armor and scars was a spirit unwilling to bow to fate. Picture the slow, steady build-up of tension within the gladiator camps, as Spartacus and a small band of fellow fighters realized that survival meant more than just winning battles. It meant breaking free. Theirs was a yearning not just for life but for freedom, a fragile hope flickering amid the harsh reality of chains and blood. Their escape was a daring and dangerous gamble. Imagine the quiet hours of the night, the whispered plans, the careful movements, and the pounding of hearts as they broke from their cages and seized weapons. The camp erupted into chaos. But in that moment Spartacus seized a chance at something greater. As the rebellion grew, so did the challenges. Spartacus led a diverse group escaped slaves, disillusioned soldiers, and desperate men through forests and hills, evading the vast might of the Roman legions. The rhythm of their lives changed from brutal training to guerrilla warfare, a constant flight and fight for survival. But the rebellion was not just a series of battles, it was a profound upheaval, shaking the very foundations of Roman society. Imagine the whispers in Roman villas and senate halls, the fear mingling with disdain, as the ruling class watched, the control threatened by this growing force. Despite Spartacus' leadership and the rebels' courage, the path was fraught with hardship. Supplies were scarce, alliances fragile, and the relentless pursuit by Rome's armies unforgiving. The struggle took a heavy toll, both physically and emotionally, on Spartacus and those who followed him. Yet even in these darkest moments, the rebellion inspired hope, a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, the human spirit seeks freedom and dignity. As this chapter gently closes, imagine Spartacus standing on a hilltop, looking out over the lands they had crossed, a fleeting moment of calm before the storm. His story, etched into history, remains a testament to resilience and the unyielding quest for liberty. Imagine yourself stepping softly through a quiet field on the outskirts of what once was ancient Rome. The sun is low, casting a warm, golden light across the landscape. Beneath your feet lie secrets buried for centuries, silent stories etched in bones and artifacts, waiting patiently to be uncovered. Archaeologists have unearthed several gladiator cemeteries, places where these fighters were laid to rest. Each grave offers a glimpse into a life shaped by struggle, endurance, and the ever-present shadow of death. Picture the careful excavation, delicate brushes, sweeping away centuries of soil to reveal the remains of men who once wore armor and wielded weapons. Their skeletons tell a story more vivid than any written scroll. Broken bones, healed fractures, signs of muscle strains, they speak quietly of wounds sustained in combat and the harsh conditions of training. One fascinating discovery lies in the injuries themselves. Not all were fatal. Some bones show evidence of healing, suggesting that many gladiators survived brutal battles only to be forced back into the arena again and again. Imagine the resilience required to carry on despite such pain, a constant cycle of injury and recovery. Alongside the bones, archaeologists find remnants of their lives, simple jewelry, pieces of weapons, and even remnants of their diet preserved in the soil. These items whisper stories of identity and the small comforts they may have held on to amid the chaos of their existence. The graveyards also reveal the diversity of gladiators. Not all were slaves. Some volunteered, drawn by promises of fame or fortune, while others came from faraway lands, brought to Rome from distant corners of the empire. The artifacts found alongside their remains sometimes hint at these far-flung origins: a bronze pendant from the east, or distinctive weapon styles crafted in unique ways. There is a somber beauty in these discoveries. The silent rows of graves, the carefully laid bones, remind us that behind the spectacle of the arena were real people with stories, hopes, and fears, much like our own. As you gently step away from these ancient resting places, imagine the soft rustle of the wind through the grass, carrying with it the echoes of a time long past, a reminder of lives lived on the edge, shaped by the unforgiving rhythms of the gladiator's world. Now, imagine yourself walking away from the rough sands of the arena, passing through the grand arches and marble columns into the world of Rome's elite senators, emperors, and wealthy citizens who watched the games unfold from their ornate seats. This world was a stark contrast to the harsh reality of the gladiators. Imagine lush gardens, cool marble floors, and richly adorned halls filled with the soft murmur of conversation, the clink of fine glassware, and the delicate scent of exotic perfumes. Here, power was displayed not through swords or shields but through sumptuous banquets, political alliances, and carefully orchestrated spectacles. The gladiatorial games were more than mere entertainment. They served as a powerful tool for those in control, a way to demonstrate wealth and authority while distracting the populace. Imagine the carefully planned events, the selection of fighters, the timing of battles, and the lavish celebrations designed to win favor and keep the delicate balance of power. The senators and emperors saw themselves as patrons of the games, using them to showcase their generosity and reinforce their position. Imagine the crowds cheering not just for the gladiators, but for the men who sponsored these grand displays, whose names echoed through the arena and the city beyond. Yet beneath the surface of luxury lay complex politics. The games were a stage where alliances were forged and rivalries played out, where public opinion could be swayed with a well-timed gesture or a generous gift. The senators' and emperors' lives were intertwined with the fates of the gladiators, the crowd, and the city itself. While the elite enjoyed sumptuous meals and silk garments, their power depended on the blood, sweat, and sacrifice of those fighting below. Imagine the paradoxy glittering world of privilege shadowed by the gritty struggle of the arena. As you slowly leave this world of power and luxury behind, imagine the soft fading of voices, the cooling evening air, and the comforting distance between the spectator's life and that of the reminder of the many layers that shaped ancient Rome. As the sun sets softly over the ancient city of Rome, imagine the bustling streets growing quiet, the distant echoes of the day's events fading into a calm hush. The dust settles gently on the empty arena, where once fierce battles raged, and the voices of gladiators and spectators alike dissolve into memory. We have walked together through the lives of those caught between survival and spectacle, the gladiators who fought beneath the burning sun, the rebel leader Spartacus, whose courage stirred the empire, the silent graves that whisper forgotten stories, and the powerful elite who shaped the games from behind marble walls. Each thread weaved into the complex tapestry of Roman life, revealing a world both harsh and magnificent. And as you now rest in the comfort of the present, remember that history's shadows can lull us into reflection and peace, inviting your mind to drift gently into rest. Thank you for joining this journey into the past. May the rhythm of these stories guide you softly into sleep.